It's Monday, December 1st. I placed three trades on my eval today. One was a loser and two were winners. So it is a small green day for me today of 11 points. My goal for this week, and honestly for the past few weeks, but I just haven't been able to do a good job, is to be more selective on my trades. I took three trades today, so I don't really feel like I met my goal today. That doesn't sound like a selective trader. But at the same time, when I look at my trades, I do feel like they met my criteria. I only have a small critique of my first trade. So I'm really struggling with differentiating between like hesitating on a trade because I don't love the way it looks versus hesitating because of fear of losing. The, and so, because of that, being more selective on trades is very hard for me. Hesitating to enter trades was a huge problem of mine for quite a while. I would hesitate because of a fear of losing. And then if it was a second trade, I would hesitate because I didn't want to give back profits. So I feel like I've mostly overcome that. But now I feel like I've kind of gone the other way where I feel like I need to take every setup. Mark Douglas talks about when you see your signal, you take the trade because your edge plays out over many trades. So you need to take the trade every time you see a signal. So battling these two things is really hard for me. I see that if I could just be more selective in my trades and take the best, clearest, cleanest setups, I should be further along in theory, right? Backtest results never are the same as live. And I'm not. So my goal is to be more selective, be better about reading market structure, and listening to that voice inside of me when it's saying this isn't a good setup and trusting that more because right now I don't because I don't know if it's hesitation due to fear. It's okay if it's hesitation due to the setup not being great, and that's what intuition is. And after you've been on the charts for a long time, I think it's fair to listen to your intuition. I think intuition plays a huge part in trading that people don't always talk about because I think you can't really sell that and you can't teach it. But I don't trust that for myself right now. So that is a huge struggle of mine. I did make a few changes also for this week. I'm not going to trade with volume and delta this week, which I haven't done in a really long time. It is keeping me out of good trades. Like there's trades I know I want to get into because it's trending. I know I want to get in, but there's something on volume and delta that keeps me out, and then I'm out of winning trades. Now there has been times where it's also kept me from getting faked out. But after studying those trades, I saw a common pattern of like if I could just be better at reading price action and market structure, I shouldn't get faked out. So that's what I'm working on. If I could put my full focus on the candlestick chart and not split it between the candlestick and the footprint chart, I'm hoping that I can just be better at reading price action and market structure and just take trades based off that and not split my focus because I was making mistakes, the same mistakes over and over again. It's just another thing I have to consider when making a decision. Again, it's part of simplifying my system and my strategies. That's been a recurring theme over the past few months is simplifying everything. So I'm going to experiment with that this week. Now, because of that, I'm also sizing down. So I'm entering trades with two contracts instead of four. And then I'm keeping my contract sizing the same on every trade. So what I was doing was sizing down. And again, it's just, we'll see what happens. Like I'm going to take 20 more trades and reevaluate the results. But because of that, I was able to turn a red day into a green day, which I haven't done and I don't even know how long. It's been a very long time. And then the third thing that I changed has to do with the way I move my stop. So what I was doing was I was moving my stop as price went in my favor, staying about 10 points behind. But what I saw was there was actually a handful of trades where if I just kept my stop where it was, actually I would have had winning trades instead of losing trades. So now what I'm doing is I'm moving to break even when I'm 80% of the way to my TP, and then I trail the other contract. So again, it's that process of evaluating and studying your trades, seeing common problems, making tweaks, and then reevaluating and seeing if it helped or hurt or what you need to change again. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, okay. So today price action was pretty choppy. It was pretty grindy, slow, not a lot of conviction in either direction. Price did move a lot though. Price did move a little bit slower than I was expecting though. I was able to keep a 2K tick chart. I was expecting to have to go higher, but I was okay with 2K. So the first trade I took was a short right here. I actually hesitated on all my trades, to be honest. So this is just, I hesitate like slightly. Like I have to make a split decision. Like, do I want to enter or not? And then I kind of have to force myself because again, I don't want it to be due to fear. Yeah, losing trade, full loss of 16 or 17 points. I don't have much critique. This is the trade I have the most critique on overall. Price didn't quite get to my key level, but price doesn't always get to key levels. And I just use session highs and lows right now. But I do like to see price move off my levels pretty obviously, pretty cleanly. So that would be my main critique of this one. And then the second one would be the candlesticks didn't look great. I generally don't use candlesticks to help me decide entries. I just don't find that to be reliable. But it's kind of like, it should be like the last thing on my checklist I look for. So I have a checklist of what I'm looking for. And if I'm already like on the fence about the trade, like I was today, it's like candlesticks is the last thing on that list. Are the candlesticks weak, right? Yes. Okay. Don't enter. So I didn't consider it today. Like I said, it's just, I'm not very consistent about using candlesticks. So it's something I'll keep in mind in the future. And then also just the fact that pricing quite gets to my level. All right, I then took a long here. Now, we were pretty close to news at this point. I don't have news figured out. I really don't. I don't have a rule, but we had 3-star news at 8, ISM Manufacturing. I entered 12 minutes to news. Price went against me immediately. I kind of hesitated on this trade because, I don't know, I was so close to my last trade. I just took a loss. I really had to think like, okay, does this meet my criteria? And it seemed like it did, so I went for it. It went 6 points against me, which is pretty deep. I was risking almost 8 points, so pretty close to getting stopped out. I think 1.25 points from getting stopped out. And then price did go in my favor. I hit TP somewhere in here, and then I trailed my second contract. I got less than 3 points, so kind of a bummer. It was a winning trade, but not enough to make up for my first losing trade. I was down 3.5 points at this point. I recognized price was pretty choppy here. There was some potential setups in this area here. And this is something I definitely struggle with, is like not taking an entry because I don't love the way it looks or it doesn't meet all of my criteria, whatever, and then see that it's a winning trade when I took a trade previously that seemingly met my criteria and it was a losing trade. And that kind of leads me to the mindset of like, I should just take every trade then because it's random. You know, I'm not good at reading it, obviously. And then that leads to more trades, and I'm trying to be more selective. So something I'm telling myself over and over again this week is it doesn't matter what trades you don't take. I didn't take 2 trades here. What matters is the trades I do take. So the trades I do take need to be high quality, high probability, meet all my criteria. I need to like it. That's what matters. So I'm trying not to be frustrated about these trades I didn't place that would have been winning trades. And that's really hard for me to do because it gets me again into that mindset of like, I should take every setup. But the truth is like, that doesn't always work. Okay. I thought I was going to be done for the day. I really did. It was close to 9:30. Price was choppy. I was like, I don't see another setup forming here. But then I did. I took a long right here. met my criteria. I liked the way it looked. Candlesticks were good. Again, it went against me immediately. I always seem to enter at the top or bottom. Not always. I'll say like 60% of the time. And that's just how it is. I don't know. This went 3 to 3.5 points against me here. This was a really slow trade. Luckily, my take profit system, everything is automatic. So I was able to walk away and do other things and come back. I don't have to manage it at all, which is amazing. I got TP somewhere in here. It took, let's see. I don't know where I entered. I'd have to look at the chart. I got take profit, probably near the top of this candle. And then on my other contract, and then this got pretty ugly right here. Started railroading. I think I got just under 5 points on my second contract. So 14 something. So that brought me from -3.5 to 11.25 points on the day. I can't even remember the last time I turned a red day into a green day. So obviously I was pretty happy about that. I am frustrated that it's a small green day. Like, this does not make up for any of my lost days whatsoever. This has been a huge problem of mine for forever, is that my green days just aren't bigger than my red days. And then that was it. So I was in that trade for almost an hour, which is also like the longest I've been in a trade for a while. Price has been moving pretty like quickly lately, pretty fast. And that was it. That was my trading session. Obviously 3 trades is more than I was expecting to take today, considering my goal of being more selective. But when I look at my trades, I do feel like they all met my criteria. Pretty close, except for that first one is the only one I really have critique on. And I swear every day is something new. I have something new to learn. I see something different, something I've never seen before. And, today's just another day of that. I'm just trying to apply my lessons learned every day and be better at reading price action. So yeah, that's it. I wasn't planning on getting super detailed, but I just wanted to kind of put out there what my goal for the week is and share my struggles. I'm really struggling between, being more selective and then like taking every setup though, every signal, because your edge plays out over many trades, right? But I want to be more selective. So that's my goal. But I also want to take like every trade that I see that looks good. So anyways, it's a tough fight. It's like, it feels like a battle with my brain. Like every time there's a potential entry, I really have to either force myself to enter or not enter. Like it's tough. It's tough. So anyways, that's it for today. I'm up 11 points, which doesn't sound like very much considering I placed 3 trades. And then with commissions, I mean, who knows? Probably I'm only up like half of that. But anyways, that is it for today.